Hi there, good afternoon. How's it going? Today is Thursday, November 6th, 2025, currently 70 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 21 degrees Celsius here in Busan. After 4 days here, I am all packed up and checked out of my hotel. This is Busan Station, where I plan to catch a train to Gyeongju. Many people had recommended it in the comments, checked it out, and it looks really nice, and it will be a nice contrast to the big city of Busan. It is a much smaller city, large town, something like that. And so it is apparently about an hour away, and according to roamtorio.com, which I recommend for checking transportation options, then there is a train going to Gyeongju every 30 minutes. You can also take a bus, and it might be cheaper, but I prefer the train when I can take it. Looking forward to seeing what a Korean train is like. So a Korean man just walked past me, and he said something in Korean, and then he like felt his shirt, something like that, and I realized he was saying, "Aren't you cold?" Because I'm wearing a t-shirt and sandals, but it's 70 degrees out. It isn't cold, but many of the local people are wearing sweaters and jackets and stuff, so I guess they're used to the warmer summer weather, but it also gets very cold here in winter, so I don't know. But anyways, I am perfectly comfortable. All right, let's get inside there and figure out the train situation. And in the course of today, then I wanted to show prices, and the question is, as you can see in the title, why is South Korea so cheap? Because it is so modern, developed, high-tech, clean, organized, just really all around nice, and very comparable to Japan, which I have been to before, and yet it is so much cheaper than Japan, like 50% of the prices as far as hotels. As you saw at the beginning, 35 bucks for a very nice room there. Where I'm going in Gyeongju, I have a hotel reserved for the next 3 nights. It is more expensive, more like I think $52, $53 per night. There wasn't nearly as much selection there, but still, that is a great price. So one person said that it is because Japan is an archipelago of islands, and so everything has to be imported, whereas Korea is on the mainland and closer to China. I don't know if that might be a factor, but I'm sure that there are multiple factors. Anyways, works for me. The prices are amazing. So, all right, let's do it. One day in Korea. The Southern Korea, of course. For those urging me to go to North Korea, then no, I will not be, for various reasons, including that Americans are now banned as of 2017 by the US government. You are not allowed to go to North Korea. Before, you could and go on a guided tour, but now it is illegal, and so you could have problems when you get back to the US. So no, that is not going to happen. So you can see entrance. Many signs are in English. All right. Tickets. I guess up here. Looks like tickets here. Let's try the machine, see how this goes. English. Okay, not seeing it. Okay, here we go. Gyeongju. And ticket accomplished. A Korean rail worker stepped in and helped me to buy the ticket. So Rome to Rio was wrong about it going every 30 minutes, but the next one is in 1 hour. And so I decided to go with first class. It was 15,800, so that's only like 10 bucks, but looks like it's only 27 minutes, so very close. And then from there, I might need to catch a taxi or whatever a bit further into Gyeongju. We'll see how close the station is to the center of town. But anyways, I now have an hour, so going to take a seat, grab a drink, and do some editing work. Let's see if there's somewhere that I can take a seat and grab a beer. So, beer accomplished. Malt and aroma lager, 5%, Busan local beer. I stopped into a restaurant that had a cooler or whatever with beverages, and they had beer. And so I grabbed one of the beers, and I was going to pay for it and then sit at a table inside the restaurant there. And then she asked me if I was only getting the beer, and then she did a cross symbol like this saying no. So I couldn't just have a beer there. She asked if I was getting food. She spoke like a tiny bit of English, enough to get the point across, and so I couldn't just buy a beer and drink it there. So I then went to a convenience store, got a beer, and I'm now in this outside area. Hopefully I'm not breaking any rules by drinking a beer right here. Maybe so, we'll see. But I'm fairly well hidden away here. So anyways, got about 45 minutes until I can board the train. And I wanted to comment about the food that I showed that I had for breakfast there, which I bought previously a number of days ago, my first day here in Busan. For those who might have been curious what I liked, what I didn't like, I now have to kind of try to remember exactly what I had. I mentioned that I really liked the cream custard pastry. It was very good, and the other pastry, the big long one, were both great. The crackers were good. The eggs were hard-boiled eggs, of course those were. And then there was the canister of luncheon meat, and the tuna fish, and the cheese. So those ones were the real sort of gambles of what they were gonna taste like. The cheese was terrible. They were cheese sticks. So I took one bite and immediately was like, oh my god, this is horrible, this is fishy. So it tasted very, very fishy. And then somebody commented under the video saying what you bought was fish sticks with some cheese in it, something like that. And so I took one bite, that was it, and then chucked the rest of it because there's no way that I was going to bother anymore with that. And then I was very, very suspicious about the lunch meat. I hadn't gotten around to opening that up, and so this morning then I wanted to at least open it and give it a whiff and see if there was any chance that I was actually going to want to try it. Open it up, no way, did not like the smell of that. Then I opened the tuna, or whatever the canned fish was, and it was normal, perfectly good. I had a number of bites of that along with the crackers, which were also very good. So it's hit or miss, but I've had some great meals here. Actually, I've had all good meals here. 2 burgers. Well, the first burger was okay, not great, typical fast food burger. The second burger was also pretty typical fast food burger, but better at least. And then both of the meals that I had that were Korean meals were both really, really good. So, so far so good with the cuisine. And let's see how this beer is. Pretty bad. Just a really typical, average, fairly tasteless lager, I guess, yeah. Man, that beer really was one of the worst I've ever had. Didn't finish it. Anyways, so we got some information here. Time 13:59, 1:59 in the afternoon. And so my train at 14:20, train number 38, Seoul. So that is good to know that this train is going direct to Seoul, which means that I can then take a train direct to Seoul from Gyeongju in 3 days. And so I asked at the info desk there just to see if he might know the platform, because it isn't showing up here yet, but he said 15 minutes before it departs, then it will show up here. I think it's going to be 4. I think that's what the guy said. And 3 to 4 there, it says to Seoul. But anyways, we'll just wait here for another 6 minutes and make sure. Yep, platform number 4. All right, all right, all right. Let's do it. Looking forward to the South Korean train experience. Here it is, ready to go. I need car number 3. So this is 8. I think that says 9. 7, all right, down here. And here we are, first class. Car number 4, car number 3. So I have a seat to myself because there's only one on one side. Nice. Here I am, 9A. Oh yeah. Looking great. I'm actually kind of bummed it's only 27 minutes, but I'll get the same experience for longer going to Seoul if I go to Seoul next. I'm not sure of my plans exactly after Gyeongju, but oh yeah, want to put this up there. Can't believe it's only $11 for a first class seat, only for 27 minutes, but still, that is a great price. So today is November 6th. I'm staying 3 nights at Gyeongju, and then my flight from Seoul to Hiroshima, Japan is on November 12th, 3 days later. It is going to be very, very tempting to stay longer in South Korea and see more. I am really liking the looks of it, and am definitely going to be considering skipping that flight and staying longer. But at the same time, I'm also pretty excited to see Japan again and see new parts of Japan in the south. So, can't go wrong either way, but I really think that South Korea is an underrated country, especially when you consider the prices. What you're getting for 30 to 40, 50 bucks or whatever for a hotel, however much it is, you know, all the way to Seoul on the train, it's still going to be very, very reasonable for such a, you know, very well organized country. And off we go. Right on time. So this is Gyeongju Station, and as you can see from the train, there are big skyscrapers here. So it is a city of around 250,000, but where I'm staying is a little ways away. Not quite sure how far because Google Maps isn't working properly here in South Korea. People had recommended using something called, I think, Naver, but I'm able to at least just see where things are. And so I am in Gyeongju C, which is where my hotel is. And so maybe Gyeongju C is something smaller just outside of the city, something like that. That is kind of the impression that I'm getting. So hopefully that is the right place to stay. We shall find out. So Uber works here. So going to call an Uber taxi, whatever. Probably one of these guys waiting here. Love the fall experience, the cooler air. Something different from tropical heat and humidity. South Korea just has a really good feeling about it. It's just so peaceful, easygoing. What is this? Some sort of an old structure. The ancient tombs of Bangnae-ri, Gyeongju, located on the east foothills of Mount Danseok, are dated at Three Kingdom period. The ancient tombs site had been excavated by the Yeongnam Institute of Cultural Properties. Huh. Some very old history here. How old? It didn't seem to say on the sign there. Alright, let's get to my hotel. And fortunately, check-in time is 3 o'clock, not 6 p.m. like the one in Busan there. And made it. A nice room here, but much smaller than the one that I had in Busan. And this one is quite a bit more expensive. So it's $50.50. My room, as I showed at the beginning there in Busan, for just $35 for a much more spacious room with a nicer bathroom, but still a quite a good deal. Bathroom in which the shower goes onto the floor, a little bit annoying, but no big deal. So Gyeongju here looks very, very interesting. Now, right around here, it's very typical city area. Some nice looking pedestrian walking areas, but this was the capital of an empire for around 1,000 years, from like the 1st century AD until the 10th century AD, around there. An empire which covered much of the Korean peninsula, so including going into North Korea, and there are remains of that empire which are in very good condition by the looks of it. They are a few miles away, spread out different areas, and so that's going to wait until the next day. It is now about 3:45 in the afternoon, and I haven't even started editing my video that I filmed yesterday. So time to get cracking away on that, take a break here, and then head out and find some dinner a little bit later. So I have 3 nights here, more coming from Gyeongju. I think it's going to be really nice and great to see South Korea beyond the big cities of Seoul and Busan. But that train ride was such a revelation. $11, short train ride, but still for a really nice. I mean, I could have sat there for like 12 hours and been happy. So I'm actually looking forward to the train ride to Seoul if I go there next in 3 days. So that is going to do it for this video. South Korea definitely looking really, really good. And why is it so cheap? I'm still mystified that it's, you know, on the level of Japan. It is just as developed, modern, neon lights, amazing trains as Japan, and yet a lot cheaper. Cheaper than countries that are not nearly as nice as South Korea. So I'm cool with that. All right. More coming from South Korea. See ya.